All right. I think we're rolling. I'm rolling. You're going to have to be patient with me because I'm new to this microphone thing. Narration, take 1. All right, so first things first, I know it's been a while. I had a lot of people under the impression that I was done doing this. One of those people happened to be me. But alas, here I am, back in the saddle. I'm trying some new stuff here today, so bear with me. But before we dive in, I'm gonna catch you up. Last time we spoke, it was about a year ago. I had a disgusting, messy teenager brain, and I, for some unforeseen reason, thought that whining into the camera was a healthy alternative to therapy. So you guys dealt with a lot of that. After I dropped the camera, shit got crazy for me. I'll spare you the details, but let's just say shit got crazy. Then my parents hired a real therapist and crazy shit started to make sense. Then I went to Hawaii and had a few spiritual experiences, and life's crazy shit just seemed to fall into place. I manufactured a bunch of goals for myself, came home, and have been working to generally try and make my life better. It's been about a half a year since then, and things are different. We have more sad boys than ever. I've kept in touch with a bunch of the Cata folks. I've gotten way closer with a bunch of my camp people. I've met a ton of new people through the theater, and I'm now back at the normal high school, fostering my old relationships there. Obviously, this is a lot, so hopefully you'll get to experience it all slowly, if at all. And that's essentially what this is, a reintroduction to my ordinary before I really get into the extraordinary. A week in the life, and this week, like every other week, started with a Tuesday. The first thing I thought would be important to share is my daily commute to a different school for a film and digital photography course. At first, I studied regular curriculum, but after a couple weeks of seeing what I produced in the regular course, our instructor decided it would be best if I used the class time as a sandbox to develop my own ideas, as to not corrupt the minds of my peers, like they needed the help. It's me, I'm alive, for the most part.
When did you get here?
I got here like 20 minutes ago. I've been sitting in the lobby.
You've been sitting in the
fire was going off. Why did they
let you in?
Who knows?
You missed it.
Are you gonna share your monster with me?
You can have a sip.
Great, thank you. Yes. Young Ronald.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
Do you want to do an interview?
What?
Do you want to do an interview?
Sure, I can do it. What do you need?
Who did it?
You did it? Oh, really? Yeah. I did it.
Oh, God.
It sounds like she did it.
She's trying to cover it.
Alright, dope. This is our teacher, Mr. Disco, ex-toy maker and closeted Boogie Nights enthusiast. In my confusion, I decided to press him for an answer on what exactly it is that I do here.
What I taped on your computer.
How would you describe what I do here?
We all wait with bated breath for you to come in, and then we yell, Aidan! As soon as you come walking into the door.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
It's kind of like Norm on Cheers, or wherever the guy they yell on Cheers.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And that's my job?
That's a role that you have. It's not necessarily your job, but it's somewhat of a role that you've sort of been cast upon you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good. Even he couldn't give me a straight answer. Following that failed encounter, I proceeded to document some of the normal goings-on in our classroom setting. The first of which was the attempted religious conversion of the class by the student Cheyenne, who tried to entice us to her godly ways by showing us hard-hitting proof of the existence of hell. What are we watching?
Wait and see. Wait.
Is this the sounds of hell?
Yep.
Where?
Syria. It sounds like that.
I want to watch.
Is this you making your case for
Why are
Jesus?
you showing your ears? I hate it. Then why are you showing it to me? Because you said you wanted to listen to something disturbing. No, I didn't.
I do.
I said, do you want to see something disturbing? You said yes. Should have said that.
Hey, honey, I do need help.
Alright, you guys.
Wait, hold on.
While we're listening to Satan's Closet,
Satan's Closet.
That's terrifying. Let's see.
What is this? I feel like that's definitely not real.
Hell and for thousands and thousands of feet under the crust of the earth, and supposedly they found hell.
Huh.
Okay, listen, here it goes.
In the Bible, it says hell's on earth, so.
After Cheyenne's successful induction of my classmates, I decided to explore one of the hidden nooks of the classroom, the dark room, the likes of which I hadn't yet accessed. What's happening? Can I come in? Okay. After I failed to enter the mysterious closet, I joined the class in our favorite classroom ritual, playing with toys like a bunch of simple chimpanzees.
Hey, somebody want to give me the cars, please?
Launch them. Hey, Cheyenne, catch. Catch. Cheyenne, catch. Nice.
You don't listen. Nope, I don't.
Is this considered good? Like, this is what I should be aiming for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Try to get a
It's
little
like
bit
a
of a
bee
zoom
in
in on it,
midair.
like a little bit, close the framing up on a little bit.
What is that? Threatening?
Oh, that's water.
Yeah, it's water.
That's just the damned.
Yeet.
That was sad. Do double car, double car.
Because my dog is
You did single car.
Yeah,
I'm
Aidan's
pissed. Double car. All right, today we explore hell firsthand. What the fuck? Hello? Hello? I'm armed and dangerous. Use my Christ powers on these fucks. Who wants to face the wrath of Jesus? I found it. Anyone want to mess with my divine intervention?
And you took away Emmy's protection. Now she's Aidan, I'm bringing my Bible in tomorrow.
I have no doubt you are. Does anyone know whose glasses these are? Following the introduction of Christ into our classroom setting, the day was a success. For our victory lap, Mr. Disco and I bonded over our favorite film before calling it a day.
Somebody did a JFK project in this class, right? Is that you or is that somebody else?
I think that was somebody else.
Yeah.
He's right, it was definitely me.
We went to, we lived in Dallas and we saw the museum. It's pretty phenomenal.
Actual video was kind of disturbing when you could actually see
Oh yeah.
like the bullet just hit his head and it just explodes on the side.
Yeah, it's terrible.
What are your feelings on JFK?
I have no idea, I guess.
It's done now. But that wasn't all I did on Tuesday. After school, I took my weekly trip down to the visual art room for art club, but I had ulterior motives. I wanted to get some intel for a major upcoming event I intended on turning into an episode, but our instructor was
Contos,
feeling a bit camera
Tell
shy.
us about the Spain trip. Tell us about the Spain trip. You're gonna cry?
After being turned down by our beloved teacher, I turned to some alternative sources for the scoop on the Spain trip.
No, I'm taking pictures. Keep posing.
You're taking a video.
No, I'm taking pictures.
You're taking a video. You're
No. Alright, so Miss Contos didn't want to answer questions. Tell us about the Spain trip.
It's in April and it's Spain and Portugal. And I know that we end in Barcelona. And we go around the coast.
Should I bring my camera for that, do you think?
Yes.
Should I make a documentary?
Yes.
You don't need to pose for the camera. You can just be a normal person.
The interview was a massive failure, and we both knew it. But I hadn't burned daylight, because I got to spend the rest of the art club session boolin' with the boys.
Okay, Spider-Man.
Are you making a film after we democratically decided not to make a film?
Do you know what this is?
This is fascism is what it is. Stop being a fascist.
What?
What time does the thing actually start?
Dude. Tim, bust a move. Want me to fucking film you? I'll fucking film you. Tell me about your butthole pod, Devontae.
It was just a random thought I came up with because of my love for buttholes. So I was like, you know what? Let me just make a giant one.
Absolutely metal, dude.
Not even spaced, but you know how it is. She's never even spaced.
Yeah, dude. It's not. That's an unrealistic expectation.
That was it for Tuesday, but it was time to move on to hump day, and boy oh boy was there humping to be done. I headed to our local coffee shop to meet with 3 people, convicted war criminals Sully and Ian, and my new, old friend, Jules. Jules and I had existed adjacent to each other ever since infancy, but we never truly decided to talk until about 3 months ago, where we realized we were basically obligated to be each other's friend, an obligation we begrudgingly accepted. The purpose of our meeting today, however, was to lay the groundwork for a larger plan, a plan that was to come into fruition this Saturday.
What time do we want to leave?
I don't know. Okay, we can leave. How early do you want to leave?
Do we care?
Because it's 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Do you want to get in on our plan to invade Liechtenstein?
Not really.
2 hours, 10 minutes.
2 hours and 10 minutes to get to Boston?
Are you sure? Because we need some starting capital.
Yeah, I'm pretty
And
sure.
after that, we're set. We're gonna make so much money.
I can see what this is from Portsmouth.
And we should probably leave from Portsmouth.
Take this right. So, Liechtenstein is incredibly rich, right? Second smallest country.
It's all rich French people.
Yeah. Second smallest country in the world, incredibly rich.
No
But
military.
they have abolished their military. Exactly. They have no military. And they're a bunch of, flats, right? So, we sort of, maybe it's slightly immoral, but we oppose our invasion of
That's
Liechtenstein.
neo-Nazis. We should put a bunch of temper-
When we were finished, we headed over to the teen center to meet up with Brody. This was the first time seeing my best pal outside of a school setting in months, and I was upset that our reunion was just to talk business, but it needed to be done.
That one kid that just takes pictures.
Been a while, friend.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a while since you've seen Old Faithful here. Hey, Boone, can I touch you? I'm gonna do it anyway.
Dude, you don't even have to.
So I brought a couple of my partners. Are you gonna shake Jules' hand?
I held a press release with my top investors to explain our business's next few
Take a
goals.
seat. Everyone take a seat. This is like an Apple meeting. I'm about to announce the latest product. As you guys can see, I've decided to bring back the good old Sadboi, but I'm deciding to make some innovations, some improvement. So Lorenzo was giving me shit because the Sadboi Super Show, as is, doesn't appeal enough to people outside of our community, and I think he's got a point. So what I wanted to do is add a whole nother layer of formatting, that being, bear with me, narration. So if I do an overdub of myself kind of talking, cracking jokes over whatever strange events are happening, that adds a whole nother layer of immersion into our little world. But the buck doesn't stop there. So where my channel is at before, I was focusing 100% of my efforts. This is my little pie chart. I'm gonna make graphics of it and put them on the screen. 100% of my efforts on the Sadboi Super Show. That's my graphic. That's my pie chart right there. I want to diversify my portfolio. 25% new and improved Sadboi Super Show. This guy's laughing because he knows.
Please don't add pie charts. Add like line.
25% of the new improved Sadboi Super Show, right? So with the narration, with the extra cinematography, just stepping up the edit from where we were at before. 25% movie reviews. Just talking about what makes films good. I don't want to say video essays because that sounds really pretentious, but kind of like what I did for that pop culture project with the Tarantino thing, except a little more personal. 25% Sadboi Archive, where me and a person kind of dip into a bunch of the weird old videos that never got made into episodes, and 25% sketch comedy, kind of like what I'm doing for school projects like the biology video, with more creative freedom and more monetary backing. So don't applaud for me yet, because that's just one of the two I said to not. Second product, I want you to come up. I want you to come up. We have what's called a rat house. Have you heard of rat houses?
Are you talking about like houses that have rats in them?
A little bit.
Kind of. That's
involved.
Yeah, that's involved. That's kind of a gross oversimplification. It's like new age real estate, and it's got trickle down economics. So we have one guy at the top. I'm gonna have more graphics here. I'm gonna have another pie chart.
And just as I thought the Rat House brand was starting to take off, a disagreement was sparked amongst me and my colleagues that sent the whole meeting crashing to the ground.
Triangle! What's Sheen? It's not a fucking pyramid scheme, Richard. Is that your full name?
No, it's actually Ricky.
Your full name is Ricky.
For reals.
Do we even want you investing in our shit then?
I have a lot of money.
Pyramid, not a pyramid scheme. Rat House.
More investors lost. But the night wasn't ruined. Brody and I still had evening plans for a wild boys' night out. We tried to pick up Davis for pizza, but he declined, so we decided to spend the night alone. But just as boys' night was beginning to reach its sweet climax, we were interrupted by Brody's lady friend crashing the party. Things were okay at first, but tensions quickly arose.
Am I in the first season?
Sneeze, Annika.
I can't fucking sneeze.
Okay, I don't care. I don't care. Just do it. Tickle her goddamn nose. Tickle her goddamn nose. Tickle her goddamn nose. Fucking touch her nose. Fucking touch her nose.
Don't fucking touch me.
We're not laughing.
Bro, that was intense.
Annika, dude.
I'll kill you if you fucking touch me.
Dude,
I'm getting out of the car. Annika, either sneeze or don't sneeze. Don't make a big deal out of you not being able to sneeze. Sorry.
Once we were inside, we were briefly reunited with more dear friends, the Hansons, who seemingly had Saturday plans they wanted to make as well. I didn't complain. I liked being busy. It saved me from being alone with the voices.
That's a dope word, dude. That's a dope word. I'm excited for Saturday.
Lots of amazingly funny things happened between the pizza place and the library, but you'll never see it, because Boone doesn't know how to use a f***ing camera.
Filming.
He thought he was like filming some funny ass shit this whole time.
Yeah, you could have been filming some really funny stuff, but you weren't, so you don't know how to use camera.
Well, we all make mistakes.
Finally, our wild boys' night came to a head with a white-knuckled game of Risk. Everyone was on the edge of their seats, but no one was quite as enticed as Annika. I thought she would never calm down. Unfortunately, our board games couldn't last forever. The night came to an end, and we sprang directly into Thursday. Now, a more serious note. I'm sure many of you know Camp Center Stage. It's a summer camp run by my family that I've been going to since I was 8. It's basically my Valhalla, and has helped me develop my personal philosophy and so many of my friendships. They recently, with Gramps' help, bought a new campsite for CCS to be held all summer long. But with this came the fact that they wanted to be up there full time to maintain the property. That meant Gramps would be going with them, which meant we were going to be selling the farm. Now, this is hard because this place has seen me through basically everything. I'll spare you the details, but like I said, you aren't my therapists. Talking to a camera is not a healthy coping mechanism. So, I'm just going to be quiet for a few minutes. When I was done being mopey and wistful, I went back inside to have a few words with the man himself. He imparted upon me some wisdom I'll never forget.
That's a lot of eggs.
Well, I eat 2 a day when I'm at school, and Simon on the weekends, he eats 2 each day, and there'll be 3 days this week, so he'll have 6, 7, 8.
How many eggs do you think are too many eggs?
I never have too many eggs. Actually, I had breakfast last night for supper. We had scrambled eggs and bacon, and home fries, and English muffins. It was great.
Sounds great.
I was touched, but our emotional catharsis was short-lived, for it was time for the night's main act. I was to join a cast of kooky characters downtown for cult movie night at a local theater. We were going to watch one of my favorites, The Big Lebowski. But first, Euros.
Yeah, right there.
What? Euros? Euros. Euros. How do you say it?
Alright, Chris, I will.
It. Gyros. I was lucky to be joined by so many delightful people. Young Viv, my sister and cult SoundCloud rapper, who I forced to join me here at these movie nights in hopes that exposure to art would somehow break her out of her natural white girlish nature. But the tragedy was, I knew it never would. Jules, who knew the two of us needed to meet our weekly quota of friend time to appease our parents, reluctantly joined us weekly for a movie. My lawyer, Mr. Ackerman, who I had recently hired to help me with my lawsuit, came for dinner. Lorenzo, and my old friend Ralph, who my mom had been paying off to make sure she had a good influence to keep an eye on me and my dangerous teenage antics. He naturally fit in great in our group of teens. Once I had everyone gathered, it was time to get down to business.
Wait, is this the Sadboi Super Show you're bringing back?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright.
All right, Sir Lorenzo, I want you to meet my lawyer, Mr. Ackerman. Mr. Ackerman, this is Lorenzo. He's the one I'm going to be suing.
What, for impersonating Fraser?
Fraser? Kramer?
Kramer, but only from the scalp up.
Do your Kramer impression.
You will pay for the damages you have caused my client.
Wait, I have to do my Kramer impression, I guess.
Jeremy!
Something's going on.
Yeah, that's pretty good. No, I'm suing him for defamation and slander.
We just missed this.
Oh, yeah, fuck you.
No, Slim Jim was the long, skinny one. Big Jim was the short, brown one.
Like a fire hydrant?
Oh my god. It was, I looked at it and Zach was standing right next to me and he was like, it's called Big Jim and the Small Girl.
us kids with our fancy new porn sites don't have to weed through the weird stuff. It just gives us what we want right up front. It does. It scans your search history. You like old ladies? Here you go. Just play it at your table, you know?
Big Jim athletes.
It was on Pinterest, and I looked.
Speaking of these cookies, you know how there's the ones in the vending machines that are called Granny Bees?
Yeah.
So I made the mistake one time of Googling how much fat content was in them because I remember seeing it and I was trying to prove to my friend, I'm like, oh yeah, those things are horrible for you.
I think I pictured.
I looked up Granny Bees. Don't do that.
Man, you ever want to make a cream pie? Don't look up the recipe. I promise you it's not what you're looking for.
There was a sock puppet in there. There was a smiley face. There was an emoji. No penis in the search.
We're so loud.
That family's gone, so it's okay.
There you go. Okay, so you're going bronchial.
Game night, Rob. I know that guy.
Oh my god, that's Matt's friend. I knew I recognized him. Yeah, we knew that dude.
Yeah, he's going to my house right now.
That is why he looks so familiar. Because he looked at me and he goes, hey. I was like, why do you look so familiar?
Imagine seeing 3 kids you vaguely know with 4 strangers, 2 of which are grown men, loudly talking about penises and hero
3 actually. I'm 18.